But yeah, for our little show match here, we got a team melee. We got Bonyth, the legend himself, up here in the top left. A Polish Protoss god, and his opponents are gonna be I don't know how to say it. We're gonna say Dejao and Blue S, but I call them Smirk and Husky. Smirk being Dejao, going to be he's like 2200-ish Terran, very strong player. Husky, I think around 2000. Not sure how active he's been lately. What's up, Robert? What's up, AOT? I got pizza. Got some pizza today. My personal opinion is that Bonyth is going to destroy them. But we will see. Maybe I'm underestimating the power of, micro macro. But thing is, I don't know that it's really going to hurt Bonyth that much, having to focus on, the two different tasks simultaneously, whereas, they can split the workload a little bit. Oh good, this is going to be terrible. I expect it's going to be a stomp, like I said. Hopefully I'm proven wrong. Hopefully it's a good set of games, but yeah, we're going to see. When you get to like Bonyth's level, it kind of doesn't really matter as much, right? Like there are those breakpoints where when someone gets so good, that and so fast and efficient, right, that having to split between micro and macro, it's so natural for them. You're not really missing out on a whole lot. You know what I mean? But it could be a little bit of an advantage for the Terran, like maybe helps break the gap a little bit that they are going to be splitting the micro and stuff. It looks like we're going to be going for an FT to start, which to me is crazy. We got the third depot on the way. We're continuing to put Marines. We're going straight for the machine shop. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an FD, but it's cross map on Fighting Spirit. And I don't imagine Bonyth is going to have much of an issue with this. We'll see how it goes. We also, I guess we forgot to keep mining gas because our tank is incredibly late now. So we had to wait for our gas to mine to get this tank started. I mean, there's going to be at least 4 goons by the time they're across the map with an FD, basically, which is not great. Not great for Terran. Because that's the big thing about the 4 goons as well, is that's just 2 volleys to kill the tank. So it can very, very easily get shut down. It's going to be a lot of Marines, I guess, with this tank at least. We'll see if they want to pull SCVs with it as well. But yeah, Bonyth range is done, so it's going to start picking at these Marines. Already gets a few shots off, which is really nice. And that's pretty much what you want to do against a push like this. You're just looking to kind of chip away some damage like this right here. You want to try and chase the tank away like he did pretty much perfectly. As he chases it away, then you can get some pot shots off on these Marines. So really well microed so far by Bonyth. And red team actually pulling back already. Taking a few more free shots. Gonna minesweep this well, kind of went for it, didn't actually get the detonation, so a little bit of a miss there from Bonyth, maybe by like 8 pixel. Gonna jump on top of this tank and finish this tank off. Is gonna cost him a goon, and the other goon also gonna go down, but this is more than enough damage at this point. This one goon can kite this forever now without a tank. That being said, I said Bonyth could handle the multitask. Did kind of forget about this goon briefly. But just gonna have to micro away from these mines and right, just keep picking away at this stuff. I mean, the goon actually will win this fight with proper micro. Gets the vulture kill, which is really nice. Did get all 3 mines down at least, but doesn't have to worry about that. And this goon actually getting pretty low, just a few shots away, and a little bit of a mistake there from Bonyth there. Goon almost misrallies into the mines. We're gonna get mines set up, and now it's actually getting a little bit dangerous. We do have at least the observer coming out. This goon's not going to be able to get back, and I don't think he knows about these mines. Does at least get a little bit of splash damage. But yeah, we're going to push this back. I mean, I said it was dangerous, but we didn't have any tanks or anything with it, so actually we're completely fine here. Going to push this all the way back. And supply-wise, actually looking pretty decent for Terran right now. So not too bad for him. At first, I thought it was gonna go a lot worse, but we did miss a little bit of the micro. So, you know, I was saying all that about how it wasn't gonna affect Bonyth. Did actually show a little bit there. Gotta be careful not to let these vultures in. 2 vultures are gonna slip in. Do at least have these rallying goons, which is nice. I'm not gonna get up the ramp. And actually going for this mine lay instead of just focusing probes. I feel like that was a bit of a miss. Only gonna kill 2 probes, I think, in total. And while that's happening, Bonyth clearing towards his 3rd base. Scanner's coming down for Terran, still in this 2-factor, just pumping out vultures. Which, this can be kind of annoying to deal with for sure if you got someone that's just focused purely on controlling the vulture. Definitely pretty annoying for Bonyth to deal with. Gonna get this probe sniped, potentially. Terran actually misses it, so does get the Nexus down those. That's all Bonyth really wanted. So, really, really good for Bonyth there. Kind of sneaking that Nexus down, realizing he had a chance to throw it down before the probe died. I'm actually surprised he went for it, so pretty good call from him. Goliath coming out with a single tank. But the goon count from Bonyth pretty decently high. We're going to get that Reaver. The infamous Bonyth Reaver. Gonna catch this Observer, which is great for Terran. Just continue to sweep some mines. Gonna throw a Vulture over here just to make sure he doesn't take this 4th anytime soon. Meanwhile, 3rd CC coming down for Terran around 8 minutes. It's a pretty early CC. But he is set up pretty decently army-wise to deal with the Reaver. But we don't have an eBay or turrets or anything like that. So definitely looking to be as efficient as possible. Tanks are going to have siege mode here. I think it just finished. I don't know, this is probably Goliath range then. So I think Goliath range on the way, which will be great for dealing with the Reaver. I'll be right back. Alright, food is here, boys. Sorry if I missed a fight there. May have missed a small little skirmish. And Reaver with shuttle speed is flying in, and like I said, there's no turrets here, so potentially a lot of damage. 4 SCVs already goes down, and this is going to be pretty painful, potentially. Glad having to come back to try and defend. Still going to drop to take the first shot, another Reaver shot goes off. Only killed, I think, 1 SCV there, so a little bit lucky for Terran. And we even have a second Zealot here with this as well. 2 more SCVs going down. Up to 7 kills now. And one thing that we did learn, what we're seeing Bonyth do is every time the Reaver shoots, it gets picked up and then dropped immediately, right? So what we learned kind of recently was that this actually increases the attack speed of the Reaver. It shoots faster if you pick it up and unload it again. Yeah, definitely getting some pretty good damage here with this Reaver. I would say really good damage all in all. But, I mean, Terran's not doing that bad. I agree with what Wolfix just said, that the team melee Terran actually doing a lot better than I think they would do individually. I mean, supply-wise, they're actually not that far behind, even though they've been taking pretty bad trades. And this is going to be that benefit from one person focusing purely on macro. And if I had to guess, I would think that Smirk is probably the one macroing as the 2200 player, and Husky probably doing all the micro. You know, around 2000 plus MMR, the micro is not going to be bad at all, right? So if that's all he has to focus on, that is going to be pretty good for their team. So 3rd base up and running a little bit light on the SCVs still, but a little bit of a skirmish here. Going to pick off a couple tanks. The army looks... Okay, I was going to say, I was like, our supply is really high. Where's our army at? Yeah, we got a bunch of tanks and Goliath up here. I don't hate that we're sitting on the 5 Goliath either. is obviously going to be very good at dealing with the shuttles. More Reavers coming out, got the additional gateways coming down. Looks like we're working towards Arbiters as well, trying to take this corner base, but is going to be scouted immediately. And this is just part of it. Like, I think Terran, when it comes to micro macro, is probably the best race for it. Vultures and stuff can just be... Terran army, when it's being completely focused on and controlled well, is incredibly strong and incredibly annoying. The constant activity with Vulture is so important, but so difficult to do while you're macroing at the same time. So, gonna be moving his army up here. Maybe able to deny this fourth base from Bonyth. Looks like he's actually just gonna concede it. Maybe look for some counter damage. And again, like, apparently I was wrong. This game looks really pretty good for Terran right now. They've been on 3-base mining for a while. Gonna deny this corner base potentially. I think that Reaver did dodge the mine damage. But now it's going to go down with the extra Goliath and stuff coming in here. Not going to get that second shot off either, so this base is going to get denied. Bonyth actually going down in supply now. Yeah, this... So, I completely misjudged how good this would look. The Terrans look like a high S player actually combined like this. I thought it would be almost harder for them, but... Oh, Bonyth taking big mine hits too. Move commanding right as he got into the mine range. Looks like we're gonna have a series on our hands, boys. Yeah, we got all these tanks coming up behind these goons as they're trying to fight up the ramp into these Goliath. Is at least going to kill all the Goliath, which is kind of nice for him, but these goons, yeah, getting picked off here on the backside, going to be stuck here. And while this is happening, we have these tanks splitting off to the 12 o'clock position as well. Have a lot of zealots with the goons here. Can definitely clean this up when we get it all together. Bonyth finally getting his fourth base down, but at the same time the Terran is, so not great for Protoss, who's having to play defensive, and his third base is under fire at the moment. Gonna have the speed shuttle come in with the zealots probably to try and clear these. All the goons died to the tanks here on the bridge. Yeah, with all these zealots coming in, gonna clean these tanks up at least and can get back to mining. But while this is happening, we had a drop go on at 9 o'clock, and yeah, I think the multitasking actually is just gonna be too much for even Bonyth. I mean, this is non-stop pressure. Yeah, Ethan, that's pretty much it. I wouldn't call them scrubs though. They're two A-rank players. They're not bad, and one of them's like actually almost S-rank. Yeah, and the situation just keeps looking worse and worse here for Bond. Looks like he might be able to clear this up, sorta. We have our Arbiter out, but actually we're not going to clear this up, and this is going to start getting more reinforcements. A lot of tanks here still as well. Bonyth's trying to find some sort of damage, maybe going to try and deny this base in the bottom left, but that's still not going to be good enough. We have 4 bases up and mining for Terran now, as his third is getting denied. I mean, it's just... This is actually kind of crazy to watch. The non-stop Terran pressure because of the micro-macro is actually pretty insane. It kind of goes to show you, right? Like, when Terran's able... Like, if you're fast enough and you can play efficiently enough, you really kind of see the potential power of Terran here with just the constant harassment and the constant map control and movement and pivoting and things like this, right? Like... This actually looks really insane from our Terran players. I'm almost wondering if they've been practicing together, because this is this is extremely coordinated looking. Yeah, they're Chinese AOT. This is a great setup as well. We got these tanks kind of like scattered around, which is super annoying for the goons to deal with. We got Bonyth still trying to clear this up at the 12 o'clock. And while this is happening, I mean, bottom left is done, the natural being taken, we got SCVs going, constant unit production, their money is staying spent. I mean, this is too much. Bonyth getting completely overwhelmed here. Is at least going to push this back, but we're down 30 supply right now. Mihu smurfing. Yeah, I guess Mihu is the equivalent of 2 A-rank players that are playing Team Melee, huh? We do have a recall going down here at the natural, which is a pretty decent play. Probably wanted to get more towards the factories, but because of this turret setup, wasn't able to. And actually, this is going to be cleaned up relatively easily. Going to be a nice mine hit, at least for Bonyth. So it traded pretty well, but the problem is we're so far behind. I mean, with this drop go off at 9 o'clock, clear all the probes, going to kill this Nexus. We're losing 12 o'clock at the same time. Bonyth knocked down to 1 base mining. Kind of barely, to be honest. And yeah, just going to go ahead and call GG. And our Terran Team Melee team going to take down Bonyth in Game 1. I'm going to be honest with you, that looked a lot stronger than I realized it was going to look. I completely underestimated these guys. Yeah, maybe early aggression is going to be the way, but I don't really see Bonyth do a lot of that kind of stuff, so we'll see what he wants to go for this game on Polypoid. It is going to be cross spawn again. Wonder if he'll... I don't know, does Bonyth ever 12 Nexus? I don't watch him play a lot, but every time I play, he kind of does like the same kind of like standard-ish stuff every time I do watch. Never, yeah. Guess you have to turn the game into one that doesn't require multitasking, maybe allows more on-game knowledge or something. Well, I mean, obviously, if Bonyth played these guys like straight up 1v1, he would crush them, right? So that's kind of the thought process for the Team Melee. But yeah, I'm really impressed with how well Terran did that game. And I wonder what Bonyth is thinking that he needs to do in response here. I'd be curious to know what he feels like his mistakes were and what he could have done better. Because from what I saw, like, it felt like he was doing, like, he was defending things relatively well. I mean, the early game micro, there was a few mistakes, right? He did lose games that he didn't have to lose. So maybe that's like a big part of it, a little bit of a snowball from that. Because, you know, I said he traded well, like he didn't take any worker damage or anything like that, and he had the faster CC, but supply was still pretty even, or the faster Nexus, so I wonder if he maybe was missing some probes. He did lose some games, like I said, that he didn't have to lose, so maybe if he keeps those like 2-3 games that he lost unnecessarily, then maybe it's a completely different game. The tempo's more in his favor than what it was. And looks like we're going to get a 15 CC this time, cross spawn. We'll see how Bonyth wants to react to this. Well, I think the Reaver did really well, though. Like, that Reaver got really good value. I didn't see when he lost it. I guess he lost it at some point, because I never saw Reavers again after that for the rest of the game. So I don't know what went wrong there. We do get the delay on the CC, so that's kind of nice for Bonyth. Oh, and he did open Zealot. Bunker is going to be just now starting, so the Zealot's going to be here before that bunker is done, with a probe as well, so this could be a little bit dangerous, actually. Only 2 Marines, starting the 3rd Marine now. So this could get some value, even though this is cross-spawn. And behind this, Bonyth going to go for the Nexus off of 19. Yeah, this is very, very greedy. First Marine going to go down to delay the bunker a little bit here. So it's getting a lot of damage off. Gonna run into the main now and be a little bit annoying. But overall, I would say good for Terran. He's gonna go up to 4 Marines behind this though. So lost one marine, ended up making 4 marines, got the CC delayed a little bit, bunker delayed a little bit of lost mining and stuff, and we went for the basically Zealot Nexus was all we did behind us. So it's actually not that bad for Bonyth, but it's definitely an advantage for Terran. Okay, Wolpic says it's a lot worse than I thought it was, so. I mean, I guess our CC's done really early. We're up 3 supply even at the moment. No range on the way or anything like that, so not gonna have to worry about any lost mining, bunker repairing, anything like that. Going straight into the Robo, so gonna be relying on Reaver again, which is, you know, his trademark unit for sure. So probably gonna stay defensive with these goons for the most part, with no range on the way. I guess he's gonna get in position, just kind of posture against him a little bit. Of course, this is always good. It's turn ahead because of the Zealot. Not just because of the Zealot, the opening was just 15 CC against crawl spawn 14 Zealot is pretty rough for Protoss. I think he lost 0 SCVs, right? I think he only lost 1 Marine. And yeah, we see Bonyth not starting range, just going straight to Reaver as fast as he can. But Armory eBay already on the way. I imagine we're going to see shuttle speed starting soon. Unless it already did and I missed it. Gonna have 1 Zealot with the Reaver. Range now starting. Obviously a late range, but this is gonna help him get the super fast Reaver out. That being said, I mean, turrets already coming up. We have 1 tank out, probably about to be... Oh, okay, just a single tank actually right now. So, really fast turrets and stuff from the Terrans, but we don't have the units to fight the Reaver Zealot right now. I think I'll be at 3 tanks by the time this gets there, though. So it should be fine. 4 Marines and a tank actually pushing out here, which is kind of insane that he would go so far. But if they were paying attention, they would have at least seen that range was not done. And yeah, we're just getting the full turret ring at this point. It does at least mean that Bonyth can safely take this 3rd for now. Wow, Bonyth finding the angle. There's a siege tank here, though, that shoots immediately. And yeah, we're just gonna have to dip back out. Unfortunately, that Scarab is going to dud. So pretty unlucky for Bonyth. Ends up dudding 2 Scarabs. So finding absolutely no damage with this Reaver right now. I say absolutely no damage. We did lose some mining time, but I mean it was a pretty small amount. Academy now on the way, before 3rd factory. Pretty standard. Reaver, you hate to see it. You wanted to snipe the SCV in this turret, but we got that invisible whatever wall stuff with the Reaver, I guess. Couldn't get the Reaver to fire, and I was about to walk on a siege tank fire. Very early 3rd CC from the Terrans, so going to be playing a very strong macro here. So Bonyth's going to look to defend this high ground as long as he can, trade as well as he can while taking his own 3rd. But I think we only have a single Reaver, so it's going to be kind of tough. It's going to be a single Reaver, 7 goons at the moment. And it's going to be just kind of a slow crawl. They're not in a whole lot of a hurry right now. They're just going to slowly start pushing forward their tanks and vultures as their CC is finishing up. And this is a great play from the Terrans, so by sending these vultures out, Bonyth gonna have to try to respond to make sure it's catching the vultures. Tries to pick off one tank with a Zella Bomb, gets it very, very low, but doesn't quite get the kill. So now we only have a single Reaver on this high ground. He's actually just going to come back with everything as he's chasing these vultures around. Does pick off one vulture, so that's kind of nice. Takes a little bit of that off of him. And is Terran actually going to take the 3 o'clock expansion? That's what it looks like. Or they're just setting up for... Okay, maybe just a little bit of a mistake with these SCVs. I was going to say, are we going to go for like a crazy fast 4 base? And yeah, now with all these units off the high ground, Terran can just very easily walk up here and take this. Does have his double Reaver at least. Going to clear some of these mines with him. These 2 vultures are going to try to look for 9 o'clock, but it is blocked off. Does see that Bonyth is not taking a 4th base, and we're actually going straight to carriers this time for Bonyth. The second Bonyth special unit. Great pick off here on the outside, going to pick off this first tank. And kind of push the siege line back a little bit, do a little bit of worker damage, start poking away at this CC. Now supply looks good for Terran, but supply starts mattering a bit less whenever we're doing carriers. So okay damage here from Bonyth, killed a couple units, pushed the SCVs off, killed like 1 or 2 SCVs. But at least interrupts the mining here, and this is all good just for like buying time and stalling as he's getting his carriers out. We see a scan go down. Maybe looking for observer with our 3 marines. Double armory, sci-fi pumping, +1 done. I mean, this is... Yeah, now we see the scans go down. Immediately spot the carriers. The Citadel just now starting. It's gonna be tough. The only thing Bonyth has going for him right now is that Terran is on that 2 gas. And it can be hard to pump enough tank Goliath to fight the Protoss army with only 2 gas. And our first carriers aren't even out yet. Terran might actually look to push right now, potentially. Good pick off on that first tank and a double shot and kill 2 more tanks. So 3 tanks going down essentially for free. So great from Bonyth picking that off. Gonna kill this vulture that's being a little bit annoying on the 9 o'clock base. Add on the way maybe for a more dropship play. Dropship play definitely super strong in this team melee mode. And one thing that Terran has to be careful of is they can't bleed off too many tanks when they're going into Goliath. Oh, we're going to lose 1 Reaver there. Shuttle getting a little bit too far away, so couldn't pick it up in time. And yeah, there's that 4th base coming down for Terran. Definitely needs that 3rd gas to make the amount of Goliath that he needs. We're not seeing any Goliath coming out yet, so he knows he's got time. Triple Stargate carrier pumping now. But now the Vulture is starting to run around the map. Dropship is out. Like I said, Terran supply is ahead right now, which is good for Terran, don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad when you have, 3 more carriers coming. We're going to get to that 5 carrier count, which starts getting pretty decent. Once you start getting kind of 6, 7, 8, 9 carriers, it starts getting pretty hard for Terran, but we're actually going for this push. We have no anti-air yet. Just our first 2 Goliath only just now coming. This is pretty brave of Terran. We're very clumped with this siege mode, but we actually have a lot of unsiege tanks with the Marines there, so it ends up being completely fine. Yeah, now we're pumping Goliath with all these tanks out. Zillaball in the back line almost kills a bunch of these tanks, but doesn't quite kill any. And yeah, now our carrier is going to have to come out and join the fight. This push looking pretty scary. Definitely cannot stop it with our ground army anymore. And I think we were loading a Goliath drop somewhere, but I kind of lost it. Oh, here we go. So a tank, a Vulture, and a Goliath dropping here at the 9 o'clock. Going to kill a lot of these probes. And can't even run them away because of all the tanks down here. So, Bonyth economy, definitely hurting a lot. Terran very happy on 4 bases at the moment, even taking 12 o'clock in the meantime. But the Kira's going to get in here and start cleaning some stuff up, picking off some tanks, which is huge. And yeah, the anti-air count's still very, very low. Definitely not enough. We're on that 5 carrier count, so it's starting to get kind of scary now for Terran. And this is where Bonyth will finally be able to start getting some of his value back. Drop attempt here at the 4th base does get shut down. Nexus is saved. I think we saved a couple of the probes, maybe. Not 100% sure. But yeah, Kira's coming here, targeting down a bunch of the tanks, which is pretty much what they should be doing. He's going to be ignoring the Goliath and ignoring the turret and letting his ground kind of take care of that while he picks off the tanks, so his ground gets stronger and stronger. And this fight going really well now for Bonyth. Like I was saying, the supply a little bit misleading when it's carriers instead. And now we have only Goliath against these Zealots, Goons, and carriers. Bonyth now taking the supply lead. Pushing Terran all the way back to his natural. And just going to keep trading against the army right now. Not going to get too greedy, looking for like SCVs or anything like that. Understanding that he needs to keep the tempo going at the moment. And yeah, GG going to be called from Terran. Bonyth going to tie this up 1-1. Okay, guys, hopping into game 3 here. It's going to be the final game of this series, currently tied 1-1, so this is for all the marbles, as a friend of mine would say. Now we have Bonyth here in the top left on Radion, Terran in the top right, so it's going to be our first time getting close spawn instead of cross spawn. And, yeah, we'll see what the Terran wants to open with. I think Bonyth is relatively predictable in how he's going to open, so we'll see what kind of adjustments Terran wants to go for. I think they probably won't go for this more macro style. I think what they were doing last game kind of defeats the purpose of micro-macro, you know what I mean? It was very, like, we're going to play turtley, we're going to try to get, you know, a bunch of expansions up, and just play slow, and I think this actually completely erases your advantage of playing team melee. And we're going to see that 11 gas from Terran, so we might be seeing another FP push or something like that. Keep an eye on what they want to go for here. Bonyth going to get that first scout, which always feels great as Protoss. Going to start being annoying now with his probe. Good body blocking from the SCV here. Not allowing the probe to get back to the other SCV very easily. So, man, this bouncing from this SCV also pretty amazing for the Terran players. Must be nice. Marine started immediately. I wasn't checking the factory timing, but should have been paying a little more attention to that. It seemed like it wasn't really that early for an 11 gas. Kind of my fault not paying attention there. We do have the Zealot coming across the map, and it is going to be 2 Zealot, at least. Which can actually be kind of taxing. When you go 11 gas, like, it's nice because you get the faster Vulture potentially to fight this off, but you're also going to be a little bit less on the economy. So pulling in a few SCVs like this, Zealot even getting 2 hits already, which is really, really nice. Probe almost gets called, but not quite. And actually it looks like it's going to be single Zealot Nexus. My bad, I wasn't really paying attention there. We see that add-on immediately. We're going to see continued Marine production. So this may be a bust follow-up from Terran. Against something like this, you can... If he had scouted, he didn't scout, so he doesn't know. Or they didn't scout. But if you scout this and you see that they go for this kind of a Nexus, like off of... like Zealot core Nexus, you can just go Vulture, pull the boys, and deny the space, but they didn't get that scout off, so they don't know what Bonyth is going for yet. Zealot did get a few hits off, which is nice, because one of the Marines got the other one chipped down a little bit. So it is going to make this push a little bit weaker from Terran. Second gateway coming down before the Robo. This is a really good response to what he scouted. He saw the constant Marines, right? He saw the add-on coming, so he probably knows it's going to be another push. Now, it could be a little bit dicey for Bonyth, because I don't think he's going to have range very early for this. So he's not going to be able to chip away at it like he did before. Is gonna have 2 goons and a zealot, which if microed well can fight this off. Gonna have the vulture follow up behind this, and he can also pull probes if he needs as well. There's only gonna be a single vulture with it when it gets there, so it's not too scary. And yeah, range not quite done yet, so he can't really chip away at this army like you would like to, but he does at least spot it coming. Like I said, these probes can definitely join the fight if he needs them to. Mines are done for Terran here, so it's going to be a very intense micro fight. Range still not done, but like I said, yeah, probes coming now with the goons and the zealot. Gonna pull this back. Probes kill the mine, which is really nice. And goon range not done, but we're on that 3 goon count. Should be finishing very soon, and there it goes now. 4th goon does come out as well. Picks out the vulture, loses a couple probes, but nothing too serious right now. I mean, Nexus timing obviously way ahead, so we can do pretty well there. Did finish the robo behind this. We got the observatory on the way. Picks off the next vulture, picks off the marines. Gonna start focusing the tank a little bit now. Terran's gonna have to leave. So it was an okay hold from Bonyth so far. Like I said, did lose a few probes, so our mining on our natural definitely very light at the moment. Now there is a potential timing if this is not siege mode. When the observer comes out, he can walk across the map and do a lot of damage, but I suspect this is going to be siege mode. Gonna have to wait for the observer before he can come out. Yeah, with the observer finishing, if this siege tank, if it starts sieging like anytime soon, it'll be a disaster. Yeah, gonna walk forward, jump on top of this tank, get a lot of damage done. And actually going to be able to chase this tank down and kill it. We're going to have a single tank and a single vulture by the time he gets home. Well, maybe. It's going to be close, actually, whether or not this tank dies. Looks like it's barely going to get picked off, so that's pretty painful for Terran. And they just might not have... Okay, they do have a second tank out now with siege mode done, so they are going to be able to defend this at least. But great from Bonyth pushing that back. Behind this, he wants to go for... Looks like we just made a gateway to finish the wall. Make sure we don't get hit with a run by, so very cognizant of Bonyth to make sure nothing annoying is going on. Gonna start that 3rd Nexus behind this. But Terran supply, like I said, even though these trades, like we saw it in the first game as well, even though the fights look like they're going pretty well for Bonyth, it just doesn't seem to get him a lead like it would normally because the Terran just... He doesn't have to stop macroing at home while he's doing it, right? Now, let's see, we got our 3rd factory, got our +1 on the way. 3rd Nexus going to be finishing here for Bonyth relatively soon. Going up to his patented Reaver. Sorry about my voice, guys. You know how it is. That tank almost firing on those guns. Yeah, even this is just kind of annoying for Bonyth to deal with, honestly, because we have to, like, constantly pay attention to the Terran that's moving forward, and the Terran's just watching his units doing this kind of slow push to beat Frog. Gonna split off a few goons to try to intercept these vultures, so that it's a really nice catch for Bonyth. Gonna kill 1 vulture for free. And yeah, shutting this down is really important because it means that we're not getting taxed so much by the multitask. So this is really, really good from Bonyth. Basically taking away a lot of that advantage that they have. It's gonna come down, kill that observer, so that's nice for Terran. We do only have a single add-on for factory at the moment. That being said, Protoss only on 2 factory as well, going up to that Citadel, so definitely not skipping out on tech this time, going very quickly up to his tech. And I haven't seen a shuttle or a Reaver or anything like that. We got the support bay. Oh, sorry, jeez, I'm blind. Okay, I was looking for it, my bad. So, looks like we did get... Yeah, nice little mine drag there. You saw the mine go down and immediately drop the Zealot on top of it. Gonna get... Looks like we got several SCVs over here as well. We're at 6 kills now on this Reaver. Yeah, sorry I missed this, guys. Unfortunately, not quite getting the trick to get the Scarab to go through the mineral patch. Must have been just a pixel or two off. Bit unfortunate because that could have been a lot of damage. Spots the 3rd CC building here with the shuttle. Nice drop on top of these tanks, kills one of the tanks. May have been with a mine drag there. So pretty good value from Bonyth. We do see him ahead 16 supply at the moment. Definitely a much better start. I would say of all 3 games, this is kind of the best start that Bonyth has had. I know he won the last game, but the start itself seems to be going much better for Bonyth. And we're going to get a push now from Terran, still only on that 4 factory. It's kind of an odd push to be going for while taking a 3rd CC at the same time. Could be very dangerous if Protoss was macroing really well. You could just get completely overwhelmed here. But gonna split the Protoss army pretty well. Shuttle, I think, loaded up with Zealots at the moment. This is an odd push. It's kind of working. Like, I mean, Bonyth is a little bit scattered, but I think he has enough to completely crush it. And just pick off that tank on the backside. Did we lose our shuttle? Okay, there's our shuttle coming from the top here. And yeah, I think Bonyth's just going to completely swallow this push up. Very, very ambitious to be going for this push. I think this is kind of a product of, hey, I'm playing micro and you're playing macro, I want to do something. I think it needs to be more vulture focused and less like a full-on push like this. And yeah, Terran just gets completely overwhelmed there. Does at least have these 2 vultures over here being pretty annoying, stopping the mining. But Bonyth getting more picks and more trades here with his group of goons. 3rd CC just now. This actually landed a while ago, so just now mining with it. Vultures at 3rd base, going to get pushed back. And Terran's supply now very, very low compared to Bonyth. And one thing about this particular game is the supply limiter is removed. I don't know if we're going to see it come into play. But they're allowed to go over 200 supply in this game. Reaver going to fly into the main base, and there's really nothing here. We see a couple mines going down. We're going to see that Zealot probably drop first if there is a Zealot here with it. Yeah, just to make sure that there are no mines. Does clear up that mine there. Reaver going to pick off just the single vulture at the moment. These goons can definitely run over to this base, but we're very focused on our Reaver micro at the time. Might see a bit of a mine drag with the Reaver. Oh my god. And between the Reaver and the mine, a ton of SCVs go down there. We have the goons here counterattacking the 3rd. Gonna have to lift off and run away with these SCVs. Gonna try and focus down the CC. He actually might be able to get this. I don't... with these extra tanks coming, it's getting kind of iffy, yeah. And he's gonna go and back up. I think that is the right call. Focusing down this turret on the way out is pretty nice. Got a cannon here at the 3rd, which will help with the vulture, even a cannon on the outside. Now Bonyth with that 50 supply lead. Doesn't have a 4th base on the way or anything like that. Tech is a little bit light, working towards Arbiters. Which is interesting, because I personally never really saw Bonyth play Arbiter before. It was always curious to me. But he's having a hard time getting out to take a 4th while all this is going on. And it is very difficult to come, you know, all the way out here to try and take this as a 4th, or even these corner bases with vultures running around the whole time. So it almost looks like we're just committing at this point to killing him with 3 base. We might try and take the 12 o'clock base. But it looks like we're just going for a killing blow here. We'll see how he can do. Gonna Zealot bomb on top of these tanks, try and mine drag a little bit. 1 tank gets picked off. We got the goons clearing a few of the mines up front before the Zealots join the fight. Gonna refill this shuttle. And there's only 1 Goliath here. Yeah, big mind drag there. Reaver gonna pop out, do a little bit of damage before it dies to this kind of high ground tank. And I think this is gonna do a bunch of units even being left behind for Bonyth. We got 2 tanks here on the high ground that can't be killed, but once again having to lift our third and run away with all these SCVs. And I think Terran's is falling too far behind at this point. Well, I say that. They're only down 40 supply, which isn't that bad, and Protoss is not growing behind this. So I actually don't think it's over. Okay, there we go. So it's not going to be Arbiter. It is going to be Carrier 4 Bonyth. I'm just starting to get a little concerned about his lack of 4th base. Does get this tank unloaded on the, or this zealot unloaded on the high ground, which is nice because he's going to be able to pick up that tank. What's up, Exit? It's like a 2200 Terran and like a 2000 Terran, something like that. From China. Or one's from China, one's from Australia, I think. Welcome back, Exit. Alright, Protoss does break through the natural here, getting a lot of SCV kills, running into the main now, killing a bunch of the army. Up 70 supply now, so even though we haven't started that 4th base, we even have carriers behind us making now. And I think we did finally reach that breaking point. If they had managed to stabilize on these 3 bases, I think it could have gone really well for them, but Bonyth really relentless pressure, not letting them get the kind of the tempo with the multitasking and the micro and stuff like that, and just leaning on them so they can't really get into their comfort zone like they did in that first game. And that is going to close this game out. We're just waiting for the Terrans to accept their defeat. Well, I wouldn't call Bonyth just an S-rank player either, though. Bonyth is kind of a beast. GG's, that is going to close it out for this series. Bonyth going to take the 2-1 victory over Smirk and Husky.